Good day, Pat and Brian. Welcome to Jim Pattison Lexus of Victoria. My name is Franklin, and as promised, I'm going to make a walk around video for you on this gorgeous 2017 Lexus ES Elegant Sedan 300 Hybrid. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about it and give you a little bit of insight on it. So the color, they call it, is Satin Cashmere. And it's kind of like a goldish champagne color. Very, very luxurious indeed. So what are some of the features that this car has? One thing that I notice is that camera where my index finger is. That is your lane departure alert. So the point of that is it's a little camera that sees the lanes on the road, as you see these white lines. And if you veer off into the other lane, the vehicle will steer you back in your current lane. It will be activated when you go over 50 kilometers. So it's meant for on the highway. Another thing that this vehicle has is radar cruise control. It tethers to the vehicle in front of you, and therefore that's part of the cruise control. So what that means is when you're following a vehicle or driving behind them, it will sustain the distance between the two of you. If the vehicle in front of you speeds up, your vehicle will follow suit and basically sustain the distance of you both. If the vehicle in front of you slows down, it will brake for you to slow down to sustain that distance. How that works is there's a radar box behind the Lexus emblem, and that's how the radar system works. Another thing that is blended in the grille are the parking sensors. So that little dimple there, as well as the other dimple above the fog light. So those are your parking assist sensors. If you approach too closely to a wall or tree or object, the vehicle will begin to beep at you, and it will give you a solid beep when you come too closely to the object. It also has those sensors in the rear. Notice the tires and the rim, very nice. It's got that two-tone color. Another thing for the safety feature it also has is the blind spot monitor. If I zoom in closely, that you see a vehicle approaching the blind spot of the other vehicle. So it will amber orange when the vehicle is approaching your blind spot. Another thing that this vehicle has is pre-collision system. It will mitigate to brake for you if you speed too quickly and the vehicle in front of you suddenly brakes for whatever reason. I really like this little spoiler here that gives it more of an edgy look. Has a backup camera as well, and it will show you the trajectory when you're backing into a parking spot. So that's great if you're not very good at backing into a parking spot. Makes it a lot easier. So I'll show you that in a moment when we go into the vehicle. On each side of the bumper, right on this side, as well as the left side, it also has rear cross traffic alert. So let's say you're shopping at Costco and someone zooms behind you and you're wanting to back out of your parking spot. Well, this vehicle will alert you on the screen when anybody approaches behind you. So it scans further out diagonally when your bumper is sticking out slightly, and it detects any movement. 50% of accidents happen in the parking lot, so this would prevent it. Because of these features, it also lowers the insurance premiums in British Columbia. So another way to tell that this is a hybrid is the word below there on each of the passenger doors. Another way to tell that this is a hybrid is the emblem, the Lexus emblem. You see that blue halo that's outlined in the inside of the emblem. The blue indicates that that's a hybrid. The others that are regular gasoline, they are pitch black. All right, let's take a look at the trunk area. This vehicle takes regular fuel. So for a premium vehicle, that's also always great when a vehicle takes regular gas and you don't have to put in the premium fuel. There's your owner manual on the right, extra carpet mats, and then I installed this net cargo liner. That's great if you're buying, you know, groceries or items that may roll around. It's kind of annoying when you're making a turn and you hear something in the trunk, you know, just rolling around everywhere. Underneath this plastic thermal liner, it's is a spare tire and your jack. The trunk is also powered, so let me zoom that in. There we go. Or focus it. It's got a power trunk. Very nice. Now, let's take a look in the passenger seats. I love this two-tone color. They call it the flaxen interior. And it's got your rear sunshades. It's great if when it's sunny. And it's got this beautiful Shimamaku Japanese wood trim. And just notice the brown, noble brown, as well as the caramel color. Definitely really like that contrast. Yeah, it looks like no one's really sat in the back seats at all. This is just your cup holders here. That opens up. Oh, you also have a sunshade on the blind spot window as well. Very nice. Okay, let's take a look into the driver's seat. You have your memory seats by the handle, right over here. So I'll point out a few features here. Of course, this is your mirror adjustment. These are your automatic high beam lights. So if you turn on your high beams and you have an approaching car, it will shut off the high beams, so it won't blind the oncoming traffic. This is your parking sensors. So that's the 4 dimples that I showed you on the front and rear. And this is BSM, that stands for blind spot monitor. So that turns on your blind spot monitoring system. So let's push the brake and turn on the car. Notice that light has turned green now. That means the sensor is on. In terms of the music, it has the Mark Levinson sound system. Mark Levinson is a USA-based company. They make high-end $60,000 plus home theater systems. But what makes Mark Levinson so special? Well, I'll tell you a story. Mark Levinson approached Lexus many years ago, and he wanted the quietest, put his speaker systems into the quietest cars on the market, and he discovered that Lexus had one of the quietest interiors. Therefore, that's how that partnership was created. But what makes his speakers special? They are made of bamboo resin. And what is bamboo known for? Bamboo is known for being light, flexible, rigid, and long-lasting. So therefore, when you crank up the speakers, you know, if you like louder music, I don't know what type of music you like, but any sort of music, if you crank up the sound, the sound will distort eventually. But on these speakers, they're very, very crystal clear. And that's because of the bamboo resin I guess, craft or technology. So, yeah, very crisp sound. So let's take a look at the odometer. So I'll show you how to turn on that feature, that lane departure. So if you doze off at the wheel, you never have to push this again. Once it's on, then it's on, but you can turn it off if you don't want that feature. So below the P, I'll just point that right here. If I push that on the steering wheel, it would disappear. If I push it again, that will turn on the lane departure alert. Simple as that. Navigation system. It's an 8-inch screen embedded into the dash. Very nice. So I'm going to push this face here and let's find a restaurant to eat at.
Please say a category name.
Find Italian restaurants.
Find Italian restaurants. Please say the list number.
3.
Number 3. Is this correct?
Yes, please.
Yes.
There we go. Simple as that.
Please proceed to the highlighted route, then the route guidance will start.
Yeah, so you can say the address in full. You don't have to fiddle with the, the buttons to input it in. You can actually just verbally say your address, or if you have some points of interest. So it makes life a lot easier. As you can see, the owner, these cars get a really good fuel economy in the 5 to 6 range. So really good fuel economy. If you notice on the road, most of the taxi drivers are Prius and Camry. So what does that mean? It means that the technology has been there for many, many years, and therefore, as a business, taxi companies want the lowest cost of ownership and also lowest cost of repairs, and reliability is very important because they're driving it every day. This is just a more refined version of that. Toyota, they go through about 600 quality control checks, whereas Lexus does about 3,000 to 4,000 quality control checks. So a lot more goes into these vehicles. As you can see, the steering wheel here, this also has the lacquered wood. Steering wheel is also heated. It takes 38 days to make the steering wheel. You can see that all the stitching here is done by hand, and it takes 4 years of training to do it. All the stitching in the vehicle. They call them takumis, and in Japanese, that means master craftsman. Very nice. And also you have that power sunshade. So let's take a look back there. There you go. So if you care about your rear passengers, or if you don't want the vehicle to get as hot, then that's a nice comfort feature. Really like the lacquered wood here as well. Cup holder there. Cup holder there. Yeah, it's a beautiful car. Let's take a look at the lights now. I really like that eyelash LED light that resembles the Lexus. You'll see a lot of like L-shaped lines on this vehicle, resembling the Lexus brand. So before I let you go, I'll tell you a story about Lexus. Toyota wanted to launch a luxury brand in the late 80s to compete with BMW and Mercedes. So they were going to call this brand a Lexus with an A in front. However, in the States, there's a show called Dynasty, and it's an American soap opera show. There's a lady in the show, her name is Alexis, and played by Joan Collins. Now, she wasn't a very nice lady in the show. She was kind of a, witchy lady. So, Toyota decided, oh, we better not name it a grouchy lady car. And therefore, they said, why don't we take out the A and call it Lexus, which stands for luxury, L for luxury, EX for export, US for United States. So this brand was created for the North American market, and it's been 8 years in a row the most dependable vehicle on the market. For a luxury car, it also has the lowest cost of ownership. And also, Lexus was awarded 5 years in a row for the Kelley Blue Book Award in terms of the resale value. Again, in the lights, you can see the L shape. So, beautiful, beautiful car. And your friend Len drives one of these, and he just loves it to death. Again, my name is Franklin, and thank you very much for watching. Have a great evening.